And so let's bring in the independent Senator Jackie Lambie. Senator, good to see you. Thanks for your time this morning. So how are things in Tasmania this morning?
Oh, well, actually, they're nice and sunny this morning, which is nice, but I imagine it's going to be quite the clean-up. Obviously, a lot of that's happening in my own backyard, and we try to get through some of those roads where, they say, please don't come out near these roads, one of those things. On Friday, she was pretty damaged out there, especially around Latrobe. I can see that Meander Valley, which is only another 45 minutes down the road from me, has been absolutely smashed down there at Deloraine for those people down there. And Mate, which is really unfortunate, I think we have about 3 days of rain to come later this week.
Yeah.
And I tell you, we're chopped up in those dams right now. So God forbid, we're all praying that those 3 days are going to be a light sprinkle, but who knows?
What do you make of the government help that's been on hand so far?
I think it's been great. I think they've been pretty proactive. I think they've learned from the last government that was in power that these things, you just cannot stay away from days. You need to get in straight away. First of all, you need to prepare for what's coming forward, and also then you need to make sure you're staying behind it to be part of that clean-up. And I think we have a real problem in this country. I've spoken about this. I am a little bit behind. I am coming for a National Guard, a fourth arm of the armed services. Because I just do not believe with all the SES, all the help out there, ambulance relief drivers, things like that, a lot of them are volunteer workers, mate, and a lot of these young guns out there are not stepping up into those volunteer jobs, and I think we're going to have a real problem in years to come. So, and the other thing is, we have war in Ukraine. They're already asking for boots on the ground now. That's where we're at. We don't know what's going to happen in the next year or two. Using our defence forces continually for domestic use, I think is going to lead us down a problem. So I would like to get that National Guard up and running as soon as I can with that Senate Select inquiry, hopefully in the beginning of the new year.
All right, so that'd be something similar to what the United States has. Whenever there's a hurricane, the National Guard goes in.
Yeah, that's correct. It'll be very, very similar, but we do know that we're down on numbers and we cannot keep putting our CFA people through our SES, relying on CWA for their sandwiches and their lunches and that forever, mate. These things are getting worse. We can see that. They're coming thick and fast because of climate change, and we need to make sure that we're much better prepared than what we are now into the future.
How many do you think we'd need to be on standby all the time?
I think you'd probably need a half reserve packet, like Army Reserve. So you're probably looking at 30,000 minimum. That's for sure. There's no reason why these young kids cannot go through a 12-week training course, prepare them to do this sort of thing in the future. Even if we start cleaning up and getting rid of emissions, we're going to be stuck in this for years to come yet. So we need to do something. So I say to those young kids out there, I am coming. If you really want to give back to your country, you want it to be used for domestic use, and this will be a thing in the future, hopefully.
Well, we're struggling to get enough troops, though, in the ADF, though, aren't we? I mean, wouldn't that make it more difficult to get members into a National Guard?
Yeah, so, we can already see we're not having people sign up to go into our armed forces like we used to, that's for sure. Our retention rate is just way below the minimum required. It's not looking good in there, so therefore this is why I propose a fourth arm for those young kids at university that said you didn't want to fight for the country. Well, you don't need to, but what you can do is you can come and fight to preserve the country on the inside, not on the outside.
Yeah. I don't mind that idea. Jackie. You brought up Ukraine, and Dave Sharma, he was on the program a short time ago. He believes it's that we should be doing our duty to go and train troops, not in Ukraine, but outside the country, because other nations, including the UK, are doing that as well. Is that something that you'd support or not?
I would certainly help supporting them. We need to do everything we can from the outside, whether that's helping supply weapons, whether it's any military hardware that we have, we need to be supplying that. But certainly for the interim, it seems to be getting a bit closer, but send them in there. If that means that we're going over to the UK and sending over our very best to train them, I think that's a great contribution without actually having boots on the ground at this point in time.
Yeah, OK. Just a final one here, Jackie. Some alarming stats, numbers that have come out on how many doctors are rorting Medicare this morning to the tune of $8 billion a year. In fact, reportedly, doctors can take courses on how to game the system. What's your reaction to that?
I think that those doctors out there that are doing this, I think you are absolutely appalling. you are one of the people which is better off than what politicians are placed right now, where you are some of the most trusted in the country, and you're doing this, you're ripping off billions of dollars. I find it absolutely disgusting this morning. We expect better out of the doctors out there. There is no doubt about that. And if you want that trust reserved for the people of Australia to make sure that they're getting the right advice when they come to see you, that you're not sending them for tests that don't need to actually be conducted, where you're just sucking up money, then you are disgusting in my books. And I'm sure there'll be more to come out in the next few days. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg for doctors out there right now. And right now, you are no longer untouchable. That's where they're at today, this morning.
Yeah, I mean, look at these fees. I mean, charging dead people. I mean, we're here again. This is as bad as the banks. Does there need to be some kind of commission of inquiry?
I have no doubt if it keeps running out like it does over the next 2 or 3 days, that's exactly where they're heading. And if that some sort of inquiry needs to be done to find out where that's rorting from and how they're rorting it so we can stop it, then that's what needs to be done. But once again, I find it really shameful of the people that we are supposed to respect probably the most in society are ripping off billions of dollars from the taxpayer. It's enough this morning.